Grant. I'm here with Nate Castro and myself, Aaron Wolf. We're here to talk about the big dance. We got a lot of important things coming up. Teams not going to make it. #1 seeds. You know, let's get to the first good question here. Who are our 4 #1s? We can agree that Kansas and Kentucky are in there.
Right.
Well, give me another one.
I would say like Syracuse is a possibility. Villanova is still a possibility. Duke, Purdue. Honestly, I think right now you look at the seeds, Kentucky and Kansas have probably punched their ticket for sure. But the thing about it is that the last 2 are going to be very debatable, and I think there's going to be a lot of cases for a sense that Kentucky. I'm sorry. Lost my mind. Syracuse,
yeah.
You know, Villanova, possibly Duke. I mean, all those teams are fighting right now for that possible position.
Yeah, I myself, I think Duke's going to get it as long as they finish out the season and they win the ACC tournament. But other than that, if Syracuse beats Villanova, it's going to be difficult for Duke still to get it. But Duke's got a good chance, and Purdue. They lost Robbie. I mean, it's going to be tough. They got to play Michigan State this weekend. It's going to be tough.
Well, just adding to that, their body of work has been very good through the whole year in the SEC.
Oh, yeah.
And the Big Ten. But the fact is that they are a very powerful team, and if they can continue to win games without their top scorer, that's going to make them look more attractive to the people on Selection Sunday. But going back to Duke possibly could get in, but the fact is that the ACC has not been good all year. I mean, North Carolina, after winning a championship last year, has pretty much, I mean, they lost a lot of their players, but the fact is that they were like the crown of the ACC, and for the fact that they're struggling, it's just a down year for the ACC, and I don't know. Duke will get in as a 2 seed, but 1 seed, I don't know. I mean, we'll see.
Well, let's talk some more about some teams who are on the verge of getting in the tournament at all and not getting in. I know New Mexico's in there. You know, I know Gonzaga's in there. I know. You know, there's a lot of teams. Who do you think that's going to make it and not? Cornell's in there. Who do you see not making it and who's making it?
Well, one team I really do like, and I watched them play, is Florida State. Florida State has a lot of talent, and losing their top scorer in Tony Douglas last year, they would be a Final Four contender, some people were saying. But the fact is that they are a very young team, but they're very scrappy.
So that's your sleeper to make the tournament.
That's my sleeper. Team that might be out, possibly Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State, they did have some good wins. They did beat Texas A&M, but the fact is that they've kind of faded away at the end. You know, losing to Texas, that was a big game. If they would have possibly beat Texas, they would have a chance to be in. But the fact is that losing to Texas, they have Texas A&M coming up. I don't see them winning that game either.
That's going to be a difficult game to win Texas A&M, and that's going to be a good matchup. There's a lot of good games this weekend. But let's be honest. I think a lot of it's going to come down to strength of schedule. When we start admitting some of these teams into the tournament. New Mexico, great team, but you know it just doesn't look like their strength of schedule is as competitive as some of these other teams that are really fighting it for it. So I think that's going to be a big controversy on who's going to make it. But I don't know. I would say that Texas A&M, it's going to be interesting that matchup as well. Texas A&M, Texas.
Well, the fact is the Aggies are a very young team. People don't know a lot about the Aggies. UT is coming in. UT has all the talent in the world. I mean, they have Hamilton. Balbe's actually out for the year, which is going to be a huge hurt on them because now they have to go to Jacobin Brown, a freshman, and Rick Barnes is not very happy with him because he's more of like an and-one type of point guard. But the thing about Texas is they're a very selfish team. They don't pass the ball a lot. I mean, Dexter, you mentioned, we talked earlier, Dexter Pittman's a very big guy at 7 foot, 3+. And the fact is he doesn't get the ball a lot, but it's also, too, because he doesn't fight for the ball a lot, and he kind of just acts like he doesn't really care. But the fact is that A&M, I look for A&M to win that game. I really think A&M is hot.
Difficult.
They did lose to Baylor, which is unfortunate, but they have beaten teams, with good records, and they've hung with teams with good records like Kansas, which I thought they should have won that game.
Yeah, they almost did.
Yeah, but they couldn't score in 4 minutes.
Tell you what, man, it's tough to win in A&M, but I don't think Pittman is necessarily the biggest problem. He needs to contribute more. I think I agree, but they invested a lot in the two freshman guards they have on there, and I just don't think that they can withhold that responsibility of keeping up with the rest of the good teams and being in the Final Four. I don't think they're going to make it to the Final Four, to be honest with you.
I totally agree with you because their defense at times can be very sketchy, but also, too, they have a lot of good guard play, but their inside play, with the exception of Damian James, is probably the most consistent. And when you go to the Final Four, you have to have good guard play, but you have to have good inside play. and the defense has got to be there day in and day out. And Texas, when they were number 1, I mean, I wasn't going to lie. When they beat North Carolina, I was impressed because I didn't know North Carolina was going to be that bad.
Yeah.
But looking back at it, they don't have a lot of quality wins. They lost to Kansas. You know, they beat a bad North Carolina team.
Yeah.
Michigan State, the jury's still out on that one. I think Purdue will play them coming up. So
got a key matchup. It's a key matchup, though.
That's going to be a good game.
That's a good game. Syracuse, Villanova. BYU plays New Mexico. There's a lot of good games this weekend. It's really going to be the judgment call.
Absolutely.
I think it's going to be a good weekend to watch. Well, after this short commercial break, we're going to come back. We're going to do a roundtable segment with me, Nate, and Grant. So we'll see you here in just a moment.